Oh, got me shocked. Came back once again. You said tired of the video. No, this won't be a regular series, but I just want to throw my hat in the ring on this. There's a lot of people going around saying that Vanny and Vanessa is the same character. And it's time to put that whole thing down now before Matt, Pat, anybody else say, oh, he was right, this and that. It's time to put this out as music. Vanessa and Vanny are not the same person. Now, some might say, why? Let's list down some key evidence. Number one, some might say, how come they're going through the same therapist? Right? How come they're going through the same therapist? Vanny's the reluctant follower from a Help Wanted, then that would mean that Vanny will also still be working at Fazbear Entertainment, which would explain the hacking. And if they both are still working at Fazbear Entertainment, both Vanessa and Vanny, that means they'll be going to the same therapist. Which is why Vanny, when she heard that the therapist is dead, when she killed her, that's why she's smiling about it, and that's why Vanessa's confused. Which is also the reason why Vanny likes to eat candy, and Vanessa don't, because he want to watch her figure. As well. Now, also another thing, another key piece of evidence to say there's two different characters. Somebody said, what about when Vanessa said, oh, we have to go down the tapes? Quite simple. The therapist and one to take the CD tapes, the rest of the CD tapes. She mentioned how it seems like Vanny is not the one being manipulated, but it seems like Vanny is manipulating someone else. And who could that be? Now, cool effect, it seems like Vanny is hacking into the pizza place. Anytime Vanessa talks about the pizza place with the therapist, it talks like she's there. Whenever it mentions to Vanny, it's like she's not working at the pizza place, but it's somewhere near the pizza place. We just mentioned the CDs. Remember, anytime that person who doesn't talk talks, the therapist never mentioned that Vanny is working at the pizza place. It is never mentioned. But every time Vanessa is always brought up and seeing what she's doing. Which also explains how, if Vanny's hacking into the animatronics already and making them seem more eerie, which number one, I don't see how she didn't get fired by that. And two, it would explain the whole how she was able to hack into the whole system and pretty much turn everybody hostile against Gregory and things like that. I think I might have lost my point there where I was going through it. Alright then, somebody say some other key reasons. We'll talk about the ending and stuff later. But some other key reasons is quite simply. So yeah, some other key reasons. I'm starting to lose my words here. I really was on the roll there. But besides from them having pretty much two different personalities, it seems like Vanny is smaller than Vanessa. It seems like Vanessa have a more fuller figure than Vanny does. But overall, besides from those two things, and there's probably like some more that I'm just not mentioning. I think it is slipped my mind right now. But throughout all that evidence, it's quite frankly quite obvious how those two characters are not the same. Now somebody said, what about when Vanessa captures you and then Vanny shows up? Do you think that Vanessa will be able to actually turn a damn corner, hop into that damn suit after taking off her own entire clothes, and then hop back? What in a good 60 seconds? That'd crack the rut to take off an entire belt, pants, boots, and everything to hop into that damn suit. That'll be quite quick. That'd be pretty quick. Then some might say, if there wasn't the same person, how come they didn't run into each other? How come she was unaware? Because Vanessa was also being brainwashed and controlled by Glitch Trap as well, which explains the whole why Vanessa would have started saying that she has to go now. Any more pieces of evidence? Yeah, some more. Try to remember. Fuck it. It was right there. It was right there. It was right there. The whole Glitch Trap and Vanessa thing. Also, another thing. Some might say, "Oh, it can't be because it's two different psychiatrists." And that's another thing. If Vanessa and Vanny is going to the same psychiatrist, right? If they're supposed to be the same person, wouldn't the psychiatrist note how Vanessa is acting different, doing multiple different sessions? And no one points that out. No one points that out. If this is a psychiatrist hired by Fazbear Entertainment, don't you think it'd be quite a key note that one of your security guards at the pizza place is showing signs of two different personalities, one liking chocolate and the other one doesn't? Wouldn't that be something that you would want to note and want to explain it to the higher ups? Some might say, how did Vanessa get hired at the pizza place? Vanny. Quite simple. Because Vanny was already hacking into the systems, and not cool in fact, I think like some emails like behind the scenes of a code image or something would mention that I think like William Afton was posing as a Fazbear higher up, which could explain how Vanessa got hired at everybody else and why she's the only person there. Because if William Afton pretending to be an executive, it would explain they could have just lied Vanessa get the job and they didn't try to take back a decision of hiring Vanessa She's already there. To get into the two endings, if Gregory already saw Vanessa, why would he look like he doesn't know who Vanessa is when he took off the mask of Vanny? Oh, but that's Vanessa's ghost on top of the rooftop. But Vanessa's ghost didn't die on top of the rooftop. That's not how ghosts work. It'll be next to Vanny's body. It wouldn't really be on the. There'll be no reason for it to be on the roof. This isn't the exorcism. There'll be no reason for it to be on the roofs. An interesting viewpoint, but also another thing. In the best ending with the 3-star ending where you save Vanny, how come Vanessa supposedly is wearing completely different clothes than when she's wearing a security guard? Vanessa wore black pants. Vanny has brown. That's not just the lighting. That he's actually wearing brown pants, and somehow got a purple shirt out of nowhere. But these two people are supposed to be the same, even though they're obviously not. Even though they're obviously not. As people say doppelganger and things like that. There's a similarity. But besides from that, there's no strong evidence that they look the same. Or the psychiatrist would have pointed out already. Or would have noticed something. Because they're all seeing the same person. And it's just like a unit. And then the psychiatrist does mention, one of them does mention that she does see more people than just Fazbear Entertainment. So it's not like she's just a personal psychiatrist. She was hired by the company to look after the employees. So I find it very hard to believe how Vanny and Vanessa is the exact same person. It wouldn't make any sense that we're the same person. So like how Vanny tried to claim that she was going through a custody battle, that her parents were going through a custody battle, but it wasn't. It was a lie. A reluctant follower. It depends what type of brainwashing William Afton has done onto Vanny, because whatever William Afton can do, pretty sure Vanny can mimic it. Just like how through Vanny hacking into the code, she's able to replicate the glitch trap virus into the Fazbear Entertainment, into the Fazbear Pizza Place Entertainment systems, which the tech guys point out, which is pointed out by the psychiatrist, that's what happened. Which is explain how William Afton got his new body, but there are some questions about that as well. But overall, clearly two different people. They don't act the same. They don't weigh the same. And yeah, they're not the same person. Especially since Greg would have known it is. Now there's one piece of dialogue of that one from Vanessa towards the end, but those two characters don't even sound the same. That Vanessa that sounds like Vanessa was just like, hey, come to the stage. Does that sound like the usual Vanny to you? The Vanessa to you? It could be me, Johnny. I could be going crazy. I could be losing my mind here. But that's not how Vanessa talks. And that's not the same tone of voice she was using earlier. And on top of that, if she was that concerned, and if she was going to set it on the intercom, then why not just wait next to the door for Gregory? If he was already trapped inside. And which she would have to go out there to meet you anyway. But yeah, Vanny and Vanessa are two different people. They're not the same. The psychiatrist would have pointed out that this person obviously has multi-personality disorder. It wouldn't be one moment. It's funny that the psychiatrist died, and to the other one, no. And it seems like Vanny might be a mute as well, unless he just chooses not to talk it off because of the whole brainwashing. But that's the case now. How Vanessa's able to talk. And say they have to go now. So yeah. Then there's another side of the argument. Then why would Vanessa buy the bunny costumes and things like that? That is a question. Why would she? Because she never wears it. She quite frankly never wears it at all. So that is the question of why she would go through Vanessa to get the suit and not buy it herself. But then again, if you already got eyes on you, why would you want to risk yourself like that? So yeah. And then somebody said the office that Vanessa brings you to, there's a bunch of shirts and stuff on the ground. Those shirts could have came from, it's not there's like, the reason I said those shirts could have came from anywhere is because those are not like normal children's shirts. Those are just all Fazbear Entertainment shirts and long sleeve shirts. It's not like, oh, we got a race car t-shirt, a bunch of different t-shirts, look at all the shoes. It's not like that. So all the same character, no. Were they both brainwashed and influenced by William Aston? Yes. But overall, no. Some might say, oh, also the good thing. Where was Vanessa? Somewhere in the building. See, it's a security guard, so. And we already know what Vanessa hours are, because she was inside the building before 12, before our shift really started. On which, oh, some people at the job may do that, but usually people clock in at 12. They don't just clock in at whatever. So, there's some questionable hours. But besides from that, pretty much after she meets Glam Rock Freddy, Vanessa's pretty much gone for the rest of the game. We don't really see her, hear about her. She might show up here and there, but yeah, they're not the same person. They're not the same person at all. Because why would she need to brainwash somebody else? God, you gotta explain the brainwashing. Because someone was being brainwashed and she wasn't brainwashing no one else. We already knew that. We already got the whole text messages from Vanny before, when she was talking to that guy in Help Wanted, and she wasn't trying to brainwash him. And they also put up the same search results. So, if William Afton brainwashed Vanny and Vanny brainwashed Vanessa, then it'll make a lot of sense on how we got to the way. Yeah, it'll make a lot of sense how we got to where we are now. Now, some might say, why don't you trust Vanessa? It's obvious that the only way Vanny can actually get around a pizza place without getting detected is to dress it like Vanessa. Because that's the only reason to explain why I'm wearing the exact same thing, besides from wearing two different pants. At the very end, why would she just randomly put on brown pants if she's just getting off the ship? Have the same white shirt, randomly put on brown pants, and randomly have Chuck Taylors. I'm just saying, it looks quite suspicious to me, Johnny. It looks suspicious to me. But, besides from that, there are some more other questions like Gregory. How did Gregory get into the building in the first place? And what's oddly enough, no one's actually talking about Gregory. Some might say, oh, the reason why the screen started to glitch out and go red when Gregory is there is because it's because of it's because of glitch trap. That doesn't make any sense. There's no like loosely hot wiring of glitch trap. It's whether you create a virus, and that's pretty much it. It never made any sense of why it had that type of effect towards Gregory, unless she had one of the fun time hypnosis discs on which. Where would she actually get that from? Yeah, where would she get that from? Because there's no way she shifted through them wires and got it from Molten Freddy. And Molten Freddy is just trying to kill everybody, even wearing napkins. So, there's no way she could have got the hallucination disc. I'm throwing out $5 Gregory's a machine or was made by somebody. Because number one, he doesn't have a family. Two, it's quite random how he escaped. Three, I don't think the whole Vanessa thing. If that was the same person, just murder him inside the room. Like, what's the point of leaving and coming back? Now, some people say, oh, it's just like a character quirk and trait. It's just something she does. That doesn't make any damn sense. If she just wanted to do that, she just could have came out as a security guard in the bad end, dragged him back to the pizza place, and just killed him inside the room. Easy. Vanny could be... It would be that hard to brainwash Vanny into thinking that she's Elizabeth Aston when she's not. And then she goes on to brainwash Vanessa, on which, back to the whole Gregory thing, he literally leaves the pizza place and he's homeless. He's literally homeless. And he's still a car from Fred. Like, are you telling me that Gregory does not know where he comes from? Gregory never tried to call the police. Gregory never tried to call his family. He don't know nothing about his own parents to get back home. He knows absolutely nothing. What they came from Florida up to Colorado to go to the pizza. Like, where is he coming from? How come there's no record of him? And if he is homeless, I think it's pretty hard for a random kid to get into a Chuck E. Cheese homeless. Maybe that's just me. Chuck E. Cheese, Max Fun, Main Event, David Buster's. You just don't see a random homeless kid going in there and just racking it up. I've yet to see that happen or hear about that ever happening. Quite strange. Another thing that's strange is how no one's talking about what date the actual game takes place in, because it can't be after Five Nights at Freddy's Pizza Simulator, because that place burned down, and it's confirmed that William survived that somehow, but Molten Freddy should be dead. So if this game is not in the future, then when was Glitch Crap created? Because I heard some reports that they took his CPU from Springtrap and put it into the system. That's how he got into the whole gaming side on the developer studio. So that's alright then. And on top of that, there's also another thing. How do we find out that they're building a mall inside a game? A DLC of a game that was made by Fazbear Entertainment. Can we even confirm that Security Breach is even real? Can we confirm this? Is this actually factual? Can we actually confirm that this is a real game? Because arguably, how could you free somebody by building an 8-bit game? How does that work? It would have made more sense if you would have killed William Afton and his control and brainwashing over Vanny would go away, not just you beat an 8-bit game in an arcade and somehow Vanny gets freed. Alright then. Alrighty. Alrighty, Johnny. Alrighty. And also in no ending where Vanessa actually shows up at the end to let Gregory out, so I guess she's still searching for him. But then again, she did tell Gregory to leave, but that's just more questions. And then if that is Springtrap, just where the hell did he come from? Because he was dead. I mean, he did survive the fire. How the hell did he end up in a Pizzaplex? How did he end up in a recharge station? What time period is taking place in? Because it can't be out the Pizza Simulator, because Molten Freddy was dead by then. In which I don't see why they changed the color of his face. I guess it's more accurate now to actually Funtime Freddy, like they were fused into instead of. But then again, why is there like a mangle in there? And the chickens, what does that shit come from? Like, where is this coming from? Like, where is it coming from? Or it was arguably, I really get that part explained in the DLC and have a boss fight towards that, on which that's why the best ending with Vanny is the actual ending. It's the only ending with 3 stars on it, which I find it quite strange that it's up to this game where, oh, it's the 3 stars, it's the real ending, but for this game, it's the one with the cutscene that's the real ending. Wait, what? Wait, what? It doesn't make any sense because Vanessa's still out there. Well, Vanny's still out there. I don't believe they're the same person, so it's just, I don't know, Johnny. Some interesting and unusual questions. Some interesting, unusual questions. Very interesting. Very interesting. Can I explain how Vanny would be able to get around when anybody questioned her? If she does look that similar to Vanessa, then she could just put on a security guard outfit and just say, hey! And just pass it off that way. But yeah, those two people are not the same. You wouldn't need to brainwash somebody in the Pizzaplex if you're already working at the Pizzaplex, because no one else is brainwashed throughout the entire game. There's only 2 confirmed people. That's Vanny and Vanessa. And as far as I know, that entire name thing could just be a coincidence. Because we was already calling her Vanny, like way earlier. Yeah, like way earlier. So, and I call the fact that, don't you think it's quite strange for Five Nights at Freddy's that it made it that obvious that Vanessa and Vanny could be the same? Don't you think this is a little strange? Yeah, everybody got a point. You guys are rusty for the whole theory community, because like usually when it becomes this obvious, it's never that obvious in Five Nights at Freddy's. Until now, apparently. Until now, it's a recent thing. But yeah, there's some interesting questions. Some very interesting questions. What time period to take place in? Why is Gregory afflicted by? Why does the screen go like that when Gregory get anywhere close to Vanessa? It doesn't make any sense at all. Like the fact he has no parents. I find it quite hard for a homeless child to just so happen to get into a Pizzaplex somehow, some way. And it seems like Gregory has been running from Vanessa for like a long period of time, and it's not just it's just recently she started chasing me when I got in here. Like he's been running from Vanessa for a long period of time. Not cool if when he runs away, somehow Vanessa's able to catch up to him. How is she tracking this man down? How is she finding Gregory like this? No one questioned this. No one find this strange or unusual. Well, I just opened up Glam Rock Freddy and I just hopped in. How did you know you had a birthday cake hatch? How long has you been inside the Pizzaplex? How much have you seen? And how the hell did you get in here? Now, it can always just be easily be that this could have been a kidnap trial of Vanny, but yeah, it's when people saying Glam Rock Freddy is controlled by a soul. Next moment, next thing you know, oh, he's just a good animatronic. He's incapable. A lot of questions, Johnny. A lot of questions. This is all I say. An unusual amount of questions. A lot. Because usually it'll be quite simple. You just play through the main game. You look at the cutscenes. It's arguably one of the most confusing games out there in the franchise, but it's not as complicated as it seems. You just need to figure out the timeline. Find out why Gregory is so damn important. Because Vanessa already knew that Gregory was not on the system. Then what was the point of taking him back to the office and just letting him sit there until 6? And if he was watching this kid, why not just break him along with you? That'd be a lot easy. That'd be a lot easier than leaving a full child by himself, not even restrained, to potentially escape. And then if Vanessa could talk to Gregory over the intercom this entire time, then why not? On top of that, if Vanessa could have easily or want to hit this child go home, just if you need to get out, you just could have just, you know, let the child out. You know, there are emergency exits to leave. Like, they just don't trap you in there. There's always a way out, especially the fact that you work in nighttime security. Well, if there's a fire hazard, you get burnt to death? Nah, they're not gonna let that happen. That would be quite the lawsuit right there. So, can let the kid out. Also, another thing, the police were never called. So that goes back to that whole how Vanessa and Vanny was both brainwashed. Because Vanessa does some things where it just doesn't make any sense. Where for one moment Vanessa wants to help him, next moment she just leaves him by himself, and Vanny just so happened to show up afterwards. That would easily explain that if they're both being brainwashed. Can a brainwashee become a brainwasher? A triple threat system right there. That's very interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, Vanny and Vanessa not the same person at all. It's obvious that Vanny has been given the memories, the false memories of Elizabeth Aspen, and that's it. So the game is not as complicated, but some of those problems with Vanessa, like, how come to the stage, is Vanny was still being brainwashed by Glitch Trap, and Vanessa was brainwashed by Vanny. It would explain why Vanessa would do that. It really would. It would explain why Vanessa haven't called the police or did anything extra, because she's still being controlled in between that. So a lot of those plot holes technically I've already answered by myself. So Vanessa's unusual actions, if she was brainwashed by Vanny, then that would make sense. It would make sense. Not cool. In fact, it seems like a lot more children have gone missing recently. And on top of that, if the Motion Freddy would just attack anybody, how did William Ashton come back again? Because some might say, let's think, Motion Freddy wants to kill William Afton, which is why he's mistaken Mike to be him. So if that was the case, then how did William actually even come back in the first place? And it goes to the question, did he even die? Because if he was glitch trapped, and it goes into a lot of things. This is where things get further complicated. It's very complicated. So if he was glitch trapped, right? If he was, then I don't think a soul can really be in two places at once, or it's just a undead. Then again, he hijacked Freddy as well, so it's just. And also, why would he? Also, there's some more questions. Because with Glamrock Freddy, why would he need the manual override Freddy, but for every other animatronic, the eye color stayed the same? Now the cool fact that in one of the teaser images, it showed that Vanny had two different color eyes. One moment they were green, the next moment they was yellow. And that was the case that also proved how it's pretty much two different people. But yeah, that's quite strange. How if Springtrap was alive this entire time, or what he existed in some form of way, then why would he need to hardwire, like manually take over Freddy when he just could have hacked into Freddy? And then if those were being controlled by William Afton as well, and not just being hacked into, then why did it take Gregory and Freddy to go down there for him to come out of his chamber? Why? There's this coming out of his coffin like he's Dracula. And why? Because arguably Freddy is the only character we've ever seen with purple eyes throughout the entire game. He's literally the only one. He's the only one who got a direct hardwired link to actually William Afton and being taken over by him. He's the only one. Everybody else is just running off a code that was set up by Vanny. And that was the case 10. How did Montgomery Gator and Chica and them show up? How? I don't know. Because Vanny, that ending, is nowhere to be found. And nowhere to be seen. So, technically there are no good endings to games where the Gregory that killed. Gregory goes off to the sunset and the murders keep happening. It's like 3 endings where the murders keep happening. Even the one you save Vanny, sure, that's one bum, but that's Vanessa. He's still there. And on top of that, there'll be no need for Vanessa anymore if William Afton has woken up from his 12,000 year of slumber. Well, he actually really does look like one of them vampires. He come out of that crypt like one of these vampires from Blade. I find that hilarious though. But overall, a lot of interesting questions, Johnny. A lot of interesting questions. But yeah, Vanny and Vanessa is not the same person at all. Which will also explain of why would Molten Freddy attack Gregory, a child, for no apparent reason, while William Afton is literally right there. He can just put his tentacles through the vent where Montgomery Gator is coming from, and just attack him from right there, or just go through one of the doors that are still open because Roxanne gotta go in. You gotta hop into Freddy to get rid of Roxanne. So that one ending, that CGI ending, don't make any sense at all. Because why would Molten Freddy attack Springtrap while also attacking Gregory when Gregory didn't do anything? The only way you can get past Molten Freddy is if you're Glamrock Freddy. But why does he attack Gregory though? For no apparent reason. When he just should have been an instant. You see why I can see how Gregory's like an odd anomaly. He just doesn't make any doesn't make any type of sense. Not including the fact, I think there's a key sign there's gonna be some DLC for the game, because William Afton does. He was. Cause you look at the trailer, his hand never showed up what hand was, and everybody just took. And you have some fool out there saying, "Oh, Steel Wolf forgot." Did they actually forget, Johnny? Really? Did they actually forget, or they just didn't put in the game? Especially when with the budget behind this game, but a lot of questions. Can somebody said that more personality could just be AI? Yeah, it can be, but because Roxanne as an AI just starts crying that she can't get Gregory, and then cries even more after you take her eyes. You got Montgomery Gator, the coolest gator around, and it's just and then Bonnie was decommissioned for a reason, on which would that be a prequel? Cause like the decommissioning Bonnie loose for Springtrap doesn't make any sense. Cause that was the case, then why does he have the same head? Why come his torso is like still the damn same? Now couldn't if you got all those endoskeletons around, why not just use the endoskeletons? There'll be no point of taking apart, especially for the no body parts seem to be a part of Spring Afton in the first place. So it's just, it doesn't really make any sense. Another cool the fact that in one endings, the post-credit scenes, they get, if you take away Freddy, they just replace him with Montgomery Gator, on which no, they don't replace. Mr. Hippo does not lead the band. Montgomery Gator takes Freddy's place, and Mr. Hippo takes Montgomery Gator's place, which has already happened before. Which is why Vanessa told that to Freddy, that Monty would just run the shows from now on. On which, is there always been a Mr. Hippo animatronic? And then where does the little music man's come from? And then who's riding in your dreams all over the staff bots? No one knows. Cause every time I found that out, it's just, why some mad person just go around just putting, and I'm back, and it just Why? What's the point of in your dreams? So what is that supposed to mean? Which argument you could go back to is the Pizzaplex even real? Because arguably, if you free Vanny by playing Princess Quest, which is a game inside of a game, then that would mean you freed Vanny from the QR testing and things like that. But if that's the case, it's a very interesting concept, because why tease something in real life inside of a game in the first place? Not just any game. Remember, Help Wanted wasn't finished, and Vanny was just QR testing the game. It wasn't even ready for release. So why would they tease a game inside of a game that's not even finished? Or why would they tease an actual mall that is not even inside the actual game? Or that's not even invented yet, or inside of a game that has not been released yet? That's strange. Very, very strange. And then one moment, you know, the head executives of Fnaf Entertainment is William Afton. Next moment is just no one's gonna question Fnaf Entertainment. No one's gonna question how to keep going with this, and they're just not stopping. They just keep going on and on and on. What time period does this game take place in? Because either way, it makes no sense. Because how can there be like a Five Nights at Freddy's 1 Chica there when they should have been dead 30 years ago? Wasn't they already decommissioned by that point? So what's happening? I'm just saying, there's a lot of questions, a lot of things that just don't add up, and all I'm saying is, we gotta give him that. We gotta all admit that Scott still got it. Scott still got it. He says, we'll forget the story. We knew we was talking about. Nope. That was not cool. The fact that the Stitch Wave is canon. Ultimate Guidebook, the Stitch Wave is canon. So that toy storyline is canon, and it just. I think there's some huge inconsistencies of Springtrap on how much is William Afton was still alive, even throughout the whole agony thing. Because one moment he's literally got he doesn't have any lips, his face is smashed. In the next moment, Scrap Trap, he does have lips, and he does pretty much have a face. And it's just I hope we finally get like an actual, you know, canon design of what Springtrap looks like, where you can see how much of William Afton is still there. Because currently in Security Breach, it's just maybe got some brains left, like his organs are gone. And where did he come from? Because it doesn't seem like he was burnt. It just seems like he's missing more pieces. And it wouldn't make any sense when they use Bonnie to repair him. We got all those Endos Freddy's around, especially since they kept his head. And if you need new parts, you just could have used the Endo. So you see how this contradicts itself. It's not enough. I'm looking at the paperwork, boss. It's not adding up. Now, cool in the fact that it seems like there's no real police guy trying to put this stuff together. It's just that there's been murders, and more murders. And we're not going to get like the FBI in this. We're not going to have any type of suspicion of human trafficking around here, because it's quite strange. A Fnaf Entertainment shows up, and it just so happens children start to show up as well. Start to go missing as well. I'm just saying, it looks quite strange. Indeed. No time period, there's no Greg. But yeah, it's pretty much been a video. I'm just been rambling at this point. But yeah, been Shopper King. Like, comment, subscribe. What are your thoughts and ideas with the whole is Vanny and Vanessa treating people? And they obviously are. How is William Afton still alive? What time period does it take place in? What is the significance of Gregory? Why does Chica keep on saying your family needs you or wants you? What family when there's no family on records? And even Freddy knows that. So what is he talking about? Then who the hell is Gregory then? Do it make sense if Gregory was a machine created by somebody in the image of the 1983 bike victim? And if it was the case that he was a machine, and they explain why he's like Donatello and he does machines. So they explain that. Also explain why Montgomery and them keep on saying that their family wants them. It would explain a lot. It really would. But if you guys thoughts and opinions, like, comment, subscribe now. Peace.